9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the head of state preside the ninth meetings of councils of ministers. The balance sheet close to Colombo in Sri Lanka. Welcome to our newsroom. Under the chairmanship of His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic, head of government, took place this Monday, April 22, 2019, the ninth sessions of the Council of Ministers. 7 bills were on the agenda. Listen to the spokespersons of the government.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Sous la présidence du chef de l'État, son Excellence M. Ismail Omar Guelleh, s'est tenue la 9e séance du Conseil des ministres en ce lundi 22 avril 2019.
Under the chairmanship of the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, the 90th session of the Council of Ministers has been held this morning. 7 bills were on the agenda. The first bill concerns a draft law on the legal regime of administrative establishment. This text is part of the reform of public economic policy instruments. The reports carried out in recent years on the situation of public institutions, which are tools intended to improve the performance of public service missions previously carried out by the central administration, have highlighted the existence of a number of dysfunctions and abuses and reflected on the restructuring of these institutions. Thus, this process of restructuring public institutions was initiated to revise the institutional and economic legal framework in order to enable these entities to carry out their mission more effectively and to improve the financial situation by reducing the weight of the structure on the national budget. The second bill is a draft law on the legal regime for public companies. This text is part of the broader context of the reform of public economic policy instruments of the adoption of the Codes of Good Governance for public companies in 2016. It is necessary to provide for a comprehensive legal regime for public companies. This text therefore aims to prevent general rules on the creation and operation of some of the national offices, public establishment, companies, and undertakings provided for in the Constitution. The third bill is about a draft decree setting out the arrangement for the distribution of working time and the maximum daily working time. The legal working time is set at 48 hours per week in accordance with Article 84, Paragraph 1 of Law Number 133/AN05 of 26 January 2006 of the Labor Code. The draft decree aims to introduce a 48-hour working time adjustment in companies in the various branches of the private sector without compromising a consecutive 12-hour rest period. The fourth and fifth bill concerns a draft decree granting an exemption for night work for young workers and apprentices under 18 years of age. The main purpose of this decree is to provide for derogations from the prohibition of night work for young workers under the age of 18. Its purpose is to provide measures to guarantee the safety and health of these young workers. The sixth bill is a draft decree appointing Mr. Suleiman Mir as the Prime Minister Technical Advisor of Mrs. Ali Hassan as the Interior Minister Technical Advisor. The seventh bill concerns a draft decree allocating a parcel of land to the Ministry of Muslim Affairs. This plot of land of 852 square meters located in PKL 12 is intended for the establishment of a mosque called Faduma Zahra. The fourth and fifth bill concerns a draft decree granting an exemption for night work for young workers and apprentices under 18 years of age. The main purpose of this decree is to provide for derogations from the prohibition of night work for young workers under the age of 18. Its purpose is to provide measures to guarantee the safety and health of these young workers. The sixth bill is a draft decree appointing Mr. Suleiman Mir as the Prime Minister Technical Advisor of Mrs. Ali Hassan as the Interior Minister Technical Advisor. The seventh bill concerns a draft decree allocating a parcel of land to the Ministry of Muslim Affairs. This plot of land of 852 square meters located in PKL 12 is intended for the establishment of a mosque called Fatima Zahra. The Ministry of Economic and Finance made a presentation to the board on the mission he held, led to the spring meeting of the Bretton Woods Institution. The Secretary of State for Social Affairs, the Minister for Housing, the Minister for the Budget, and the Minister for Agriculture, and accompanied the Minister for Finance. The interviews revealed a convergence of views on the debt to GDP ratio. The Minister of Labor and the Administration Reform has made his report on his participation to the 46th Labor Arab Conference session in Cairo from the 14th to the 21st of April 2019.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, received today Monday in the mornings at the Presidential Palace the credential letters of three new foreign ambassadors accredited to their respective countries known as India, Vietnam and Australia to the Republic of Djibouti. First, the new ambassador of India to the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Ashok Kumar, in his speech reminded that he would always work to strengthen the bilateral relations between the two countries.
It's my great pleasure and honor to present to Your Excellency the letter of credence sent by His Excellency the President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind, accrediting me as the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of India to the Republic of Djibouti. On this august occasion, I take this opportunity to convey to Your Excellency and through you to the friendly people of your great country the cordial greetings and warm wishes of the President and the people of the Republic of India. This is indeed a historic occasion for India-Djibouti bilateral relationship and a matter of privilege for me to serve as the first resident ambassador of India to Djibouti. I sincerely thank Your Excellency and the Government of the Republic of Djibouti for assenting to host a resident diplomatic mission of India in your beautiful country and giving me a rare opportunity for presentation of letter of credence within 24 hours of my arrival in the Republic of Djibouti.
After him, it was the turn of the ambassador of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, Mr. Tran Tan Cong, Vietnamese ambassadors to the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Tran Ton Cong, in his address thanked the President for the warm welcome and for his fraternal hospitality.
Excellency, the highest President, I have the honor to presenting you the credential letter by our President of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Accredit me as Ambassador of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam to Republic of Djibouti.
The President of the Republic has received the Ambassador of Australia, Mr. Peter Leo Doyle. The new ambassadors to the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Peter Leo Doyle, in his address thanks the President for the warm welcomes and his hospitality. Mr. Peter Leo Doyle said he was extremely pleased.
Pleasure to call on you this afternoon and to present my letters of credential and the letters of recall of my predecessor. Thank you very much for receiving me.
The Center of Leadership and Entrepreneurship of Djibouti has hosted this Sunday's conference debate focused on the economic space and corporate certifications in the Republic of Djibouti. This meeting, rich in information, was organized by the Djibouti Space of Reflections and Exchanges, DIRI, a national NGO created by a group of Djiboutian intellectuals who wish to serve as a platform between political decision makers, intellectuals, and civil society. During this two-day conference, representatives of the state organizations, economic experts, entrepreneurs, and young students met to better understand these potentialities and challenges of entrepreneurship in our country. The discussions were preceded by the presentations of the team chosen for this day, such as the characteristics of our economy, national policy, and strategy for the promotions of entrepreneurship, present respectively by the Djiboutian economist Dr. Mark Tire and the ministers of Finance and Economy, Mr. Ilyas Musa Dawale. In an interview, the ministers of Economy, Ilyas Musa Dawale, to qualify this conference of very beneficiary. This meeting, rich in information, was organized by the Djiboutian Space of Reflections and Exchanges, created by a group of Djiboutian intellectuals who wish to serve as a platform of political decision makers and intellectuals and civil society, he said. Yesterday in the afternoons, after his meetings with the head of state, the Ministry of Ghana, who was among others the Ministers of Trade and Industries, Mr. Alan John Yerematen, visit the international free zones of PIC 23. Upon his arrival, the Ghanaian minister was greeted by the president of the Ports and Free Zone, Mr. Abubakar Umar Haddi. The Free Zone International is a great level of Djiboutian economy, consolidate the positions of Djibouti in these parts of the world. These largest free zones in Africa is a real driving forces for all major infrastructure projects in the country. The Ghanaian ministers had guided towers on the futures of the free zone, noting business that the international free zones will be the major lever for the development and growth of the countries at the opening of the African Free Trade Area, known by the names of ZLECA. Then the Republic of Djibouti has signed the legal instrument and delivered to the President of the African Union's Commission, Mr. Moussa Faki, at the 32nd Summit of Head of State held in Addis Ababa in the previous February. In the presence of the Ambassador of Djibouti to Japan, His Excellency Mr. Ahmed Araita Ali, the Director General of the Djiboutian Agency of Road, Mr. Subane Saeed Ismail, accompanied by its Director of Study, Mr. Salah Ibrahim Usman, proceeded on 22 April 2019 in Tokyo at the signings of the contract for the project of improvement of the National Road 1. This project amounting to 3 billion 450 million franc yen is equivalent to 5 billion 475 million 165,000 of Djibouti franc is covered by Japanese non-reparable financial up operations to improve efficiency and capacity of the transport systems and to support the economic and social development of the Republic of Djibouti. The construction is work of 20 kilometers of road that will start in May 2019 were entrusted to two Japanese companies who met under the same consortiums called Dai Nippon Construction and Toda Corporation. The contract was signed by Toru Kubo, president of the Japan International Cooperation System. Mr. Hidemi Hatano, general managers of Dai Nippon Constructions, on behalf of the consortium. This corridor linking the Republic of Djibouti and Ethiopia will boost and further strengthen the role of our country's regional gateway. The National Army, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, yesterday launched a major awareness campaigns on Republican and patriotic values for the benefit of Obok primary education students. This campaign was launched in the barracks of the Obok Regiment Riao in the presence of General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces. On his arrival, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim was greeted by the prefect of the Obok region and Colonel Aden Douale. On the menu of review troop, guards of honor and carpet, this colorful ceremony was opened by reading the Holy Quran. Then together delegations and the school children all stood up for the national anthem sung by the orchestral's appropriate ensemble. This unprecedented campaign will spread across 5 regions and has seen the participation of senior Obok executive, namely General of the Brigade Tahir Ali Mohammed, Colonel Wahib Musa Khalileh, the Colonel Aden Douale, and Prefect of Obok region, Mr. Hassan Dabale Ahmed, the President of the Regional Council, Mr. Mohammed Hamid Ismail, the Deputy of the region is the Kamil Hamad, the heads of the National Education System, as well as 150 school children, boy and girl. The goal of this awareness is to deepen knowledge in order to cultivate patriotism early on in school children. In his welcome, the colonel welcomed the chief of the staff of the National Army and the local authorities in the barracks interamus of Obok. During the ceremony, Captain Samina Ahmed had the opportunity to question the students of Obok schools on the values of the Republic, citizenship, and citizenship. For their part, the students responded assiduously to the various questions asked. At the end of the ceremony, who responded brilliantly were all rewarded. Then about 50 Obok school children visit the various camps of the regiments of the National Army of Obok. The students asked questions. Some even took places inside tanks to appreciate the scope and uses of military aircraft. The Secretary General of the Health Ministers, Dr. Salih Benoita Turab, yesterday received admissions of Turkish surgeons and medical specialists from Acıbadem Hospital that were introduced by the director of Peltier Hospital, Mr. Hussein Mohammed Hussein. The meeting was attended by the director of the DPO, Fatuma Ali Abdallah, and the director of Health Region, Mr. Ahmed Saeed. Welcoming the members of this mission, Secretary General of Health Minister Dr. Salih Benoita Turab discussed ways and means to further strengthen this technical collaboration, which is part of a health cooperation between Peltier Hospital and Acıbadem Hospital. Subsequently, Turkish doctors met with their fellow Egyptians at Peltier Hospital to finalize their joint free consultation program that targets specialties such as pediatric surgery and even nephrology, including fistula. The President of the Republic of Government has established a national commission for tax conciliation. Have the objective of this amountable resolutions of the different persistence of domestic and cadastral customs tax authorities to the tax users. This tax commission is presided by the mediator of the Republic. The commissioners president conduct delegations to ARTA regions consisting of some of its members in the context of the vulgarization and awareness of the role and missions of the National Tax Conciliation Commission. This meeting was held in the prefect premises of the region. The Ministry of Labor, in charge of the reforms of administration through its executive secretariat in charge of reform of administration, began a vast program aiming to improve the service of the administration but in view of adapting it to the socio-economic policy and the ways of in our country. This ambitious program provided by the Canadian expert for SECHAP officials requires such generalizations of the latter in order to implement it through the administrations of our countries. This training will automatically contribute to the good functioning of the administration, but will also strengthen the capacities of the officials, which will be a pledge of success of our administration. For his part, the prefect of Artas region, Abdullahi Dararauki, said the purpose of these towers is indeed to root these programs, but also to emerge an atmosphere conducive to good collaboration between the decentralized administration. As part of our programs to promote and protect human rights, Salam, the Community Management Committee of the Neighborhood 1 and 2 organized yesterday afternoon sensitization ceremony on the Night of the Child. This ceremony is organized in close collaboration with the National Unions of Jewish Young Women, UNFT, and UNICEF. This ceremony is to introduce to the young people that they have the right, like to get the national identity card of the refugees and excisions of young girls, and to fight against drug. The ceremony was chaired by the coordinators of the Community Management Committee, Madame Badria, who reminds us that these kinds of sensitization is organized regularly to improve the rights of the children, and to do it to children and also to their parents, because the family is the first of the child. She recalled that many mothers can understand the risks of that excisions can have on the girl's life, and try for some of her to put aside and forget these harmful practices that has no origin anywhere in the Quran. And finally, the coordinators, Madame Badria, thanked UNFT and UNICEF, who always deploys big ways to put our children in the best of living conditions. For the international scene, according to a new report, Sunday's attacks in Sri Lanka have left 219 dead and 500 wounded. Listen to the report.
Lanka has scored 219 after a wave of blast heat charges on luxurious hotels across the country on Sunday. Police say 24 people have been arrested, but it is not yet known who carried out the attack. About 500 people are injured, and at least 35 funerals are among the dead. The Easter Sunday bombing were the deadliest violence Sri Lanka has witnessed since the end of the country's civil war in 2009.
This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.